All right, KISS Army, welcome to the KISSFAQ podcast. Thank you for letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. This is a KISS-related podcast by the board, for the board. We hope you enjoy. Welcome to episode 18 of the KISSFAQ podcast. I'm your host,
We're legal.
Oh yeah, we turned 18. Awesome. Woo!
We're legal.
So, I'm Julian Gill, your host, and joining me today is Alex, and it's Bagboy on the FAQ.
Hey there.
And Andrew, welcome back. It's been a while.
Good to be back. And you can never remember my username. It's alivecatman.
I've got it right up on this page right now. You know,
there you go.
You and Ken, I seem to have technical issues with my brain, but you know, we can't. Nothing's going to happen about that. So today's episode, we're going to just talk about some oddities and fun stuff in our collections. We may have it to show you and hold up in front of our webcams. We may not. And it may be some stuff that we're looking for, some of the stuff on our want lists, or bucket lists as it may be at this point. So, you just showed me something cool that really was a blast from the past, Andrew. So why don't we get started with you?
All right, so a lot of people who know me, who've seen me on several of these episodes, they know I'm kind of a little bit younger than a lot of people. So I started collecting in 1998, so kind of right at the tail end of the physical copies of things, right before Internet and Napster and all that took over. So two bootlegs I got first. One was a VHS copy of Madison Square Garden 77, but the second that I got right after that was this little baby right here, Destroys Anaheim. Now, what's cool about this is it's not printed at someone's basement. It's actually the original pressing that was printed, who knows when it was. Photocopy cover, and then, little Kiss Army thing on the back. It's only about half of the show, because that's all you could fit on the record. So you actually had to buy the other part 2 to actually have the full Anaheim Stadium concert. And good luck getting the correct song order, because unfortunately the song order wasn't correct. But it's still cool. I remember putting this on and listening to it with like big over-the-ear headphones. And East Coast people will know the guy who I bought this from. His name is Gary Danko. He used to own the Rainbow Rockatorium in Brick, New Jersey. His tattoos are actually on the Kiss My Ass video. So he sold this to me, and this kind of started my whole descent into collecting bootlegs and collecting other Kiss. So Destroys Anaheim on vinyl, and I'll show you a quick peek at the vinyl too, because this was before everybody had a computer in their house, so you just kind of had a black label and a brown label like that. Nothing really on there, but you pop this in, and the Anaheim concert is on here, and it's great.
That's really cool. That's Anaheim 76 for anyone who maybe isn't as familiar with some of this stuff. I'm going to jump in here and just flash these quickly. Yeah, I collect master tapes of unreleased shows, so I'm a hoarding bitch. So curse me.
But wait, hold on, because I just had a hand in purchasing a show not too long ago, and like what people don't understand that they call us hoarders, we did the legwork to find this stuff. And we paid for it, so we're not hoarding. If you pay for something, you're just going to give it away for free? No.
Yeah, and to add to that, we may not have necessarily done the legwork, but money,
money.
Those things I just flashed to piss off some of the people who hate the so-called hoarder so much. Those are 4 figures each. So, they were out there and available a few years ago. I don't see the people who complain about not hearing the stuff bidding on them or buying them. So, there's stuff that surfaces sometimes. Go for it. You have to go searching in your neighborhood as well. And it's been said on a lot of the podcasts that post on Craigslist. I mean, stop posting for a companion and start posting for 8mm, videos and tapes, and you never know what you might find. Alex, let's move into you and get away from annoying people. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no, you're good. As you guys know, I'm going to school right now, so I'm at my apartment, so I don't have any cool Kiss stuff except my books and what's on my laptop, which is a lot, though. But a cool thing I remember having, my dad gave it to me when I was a kid. It was this tape that I wish I had it, and it was, my dad was in the Navy. He spent 30 years in the U.S. Navy, and so at this point he was in Bahrain at the time. And he picked up this bootleg mixtape, and it had Paul Stanley on the cover with the Navy hat on. Like it was always clearly Captain 018. different animals U.S. Navy have. And the track listing was all sorts. I remember it started with Crazy Nights, Turn on the Night, I Was Made for Loving You, and then it jumped like Cold Gin and Bath and Rock and Roll All Night. And then it had Lick It Up Tomorrow on there. And then the other side was like Bang Bang You, I've Had Enough, Into the Fire, Shout It Out Loud, A War Without Heroes, Shandy. So it was this really weird mix of stuff, and it was all studio. It was nothing live. It was the actual studio track put over there. They didn't have, I guess, all the same copyright laws we have here in America. And so that was really like I was really thinking like my first, really KISS cassette tape was a bootleg that my dad got in the Navy. And I remember playing the tape, and clearly I was, about like 10, so I didn't really fully understand when songs came about. So I just thought like all this stuff was off one album. So it was always like weird. I was like, wow, these sound really different. Like, this song Cold Gin, it's kind of slow and draggy, but then this song Bang Bang You is real fast and really weird. So it was kind of weird getting used to the different music styles and stuff. And then of course eventually I've corrected my ways, and I've learned for each song came off a different album and stuff. But in fact, I was super stoked when I got to see KISS in 2010 when they were doing Crazy Nights, because I'd always heard this song on this tape, but to not hear it live. So I was super stoked when he did it live, and like have this song all the time playing, and then to finally get to see him do it.
So that's a really cool story, because obviously I used to live in Singapore, which by the time I was living there, it was late 80s, and they'd cracked down on a lot of the pirate stuff, but we used to hop over to Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia a lot. In Indonesia, there was just a ton of bootleg cassettes. They were like Aquarius labels. You'd get a Lick It Up cover and all sorts of songs on the stuff. And some of the popular stuff out there was video cassettes. So the Animalize Alive I had for donkey's years as an audio cassette with the artwork printed up as it was, and I never bothered with the video because I was just so used to that tape. So there's a bunch of really cool collectibles. I threw all mine away, dumbass, but it just didn't mean anything to me because I bought them for like 50 cents each. So from that neck of the woods, I still crave one thing though. So this is a shout out to anyone who's got it and will part with it. It's a Singapore, Malaysia copy of Crazy Nights cassette, and it's got a yellow paper label on it. I want that sucker back. I threw mine away when I was in Scotland, and I just want that back for sentimental reasons. So if you've got one, I'm a buyer. So I'm going to move on to one of my items and kind of hold it up to the camera. As you can tell, it's a mini Originals 2.
That's so cool.
I just happen to have a spare one of the promos from the Disc Union, 2006, when they reissued the KISS catalog in Japan. Disc Union, one of the main Japanese online sellers, I guess, or vendors, made a double platinum box. And I don't know how many copies of this thing they did. It's just, it fits all your CDs in it, and it came with the Originals 2, a printed sheet. It's kind of heavy grade cardboard. Came with reproduction obies from all the LPs, CD size, and one for the originals. Now, I just happen to have 2 of the Originals too, so I made this up last weekend. I was really bored, I guess, so I decided I was going to print out a copy of the lyric book to go with it. I made myself a set of masks, and where is it? Somewhere in there. Hope the glue dried. Technical issues with the Obi. So, and the little picture booklet. So, I made those on the laser, and inside I stuck the 2006 CDs from this thing. So, it's a really cool collectible. I just bought this back. I had a copy years ago, and I'd sold it, and a guy was selling it on eBay. I was like, I want that back in the collection. Those are pretty neat CDs. I can't remember if they're SHMs or not. No.
I think they are. Because I was in Japan in 2006. And before I saw them at Rainbow Hall in Nagoya, they just had stacks of those CDs before you went into the building. And at the time, I was a collector, but I wasn't like, gotta have every version of everything yet. So I just kind of passed those by. Stupid me.
Yeah, and it's a, There are several versions of these box sets out there. I think they reissued it with the Destroyer box. They did it with the Kiss
Unmasked.
box, the Unmasked. So different. In Japan, they seem to reissue the catalog with a great degree of frequency. But you'll find very few people who are willing to glue these things together and take them mint in packaging out. Again, I just bought one of these sheets on eBay at one point, and when I bought this box, the guy sent me another one, so it was half popped out of its paper. Really neat. Nothing that collectible. I mean, these go for about $300, maybe $350 on eBay, which that's a lot of money to some folks, not a lot to others. Neat collectible. Love the double platinum box because obviously it's the shiny mylar effect that the original LP had. All right.
I just got to throw that out real quick. I don't know why Kiss, when he did a Kiss there, haven't done this to CDs yet.
That is the biggest crime. You know, back in 96, 97, I was faxing Polygram when the remasters came out saying, why don't you do one of these? You know, for Originals and Originals 2 box set. And Robert Conti called me because I was sending from my father's fax machine, and it was like Professor so-and-so at so-and-so university. And he was like, oh, I thought you were important or something to that effect. So I thought you were someone
Little did he know.
Yeah, little did he know. And that was when he was catalog consultant. But I think it's been through the ringer a few times. And they missed the boat again with Kisteria. I mean, if you think of some of the stuff they put in that box, I'm sure there were battles fought by the...
Dominoes. Gotta have the Kiss Dominoes.
Yeah, but, you know, we know from some of the stuff Tom said in his interview on Three Sides that, you know, battles were fought in the Kisteria box, and battles are always being fought with Universal for what is realistic. Now, if an album's going to sell 100 copies in its first week, what do they have to lose by doing the originals? Andrew, wake up.
Well, while we're talking about the originals, I actually, you know, in my vinyl collecting, I was always looking for the originals, and I kind of pieced mine together. I had the records, but I had none of the inserts, so I was looking for the inserts. And then I was like, well, now I got these inserts. I want to find a really nice copy of the sleeve. So I purchased this. And it's actually not an American copy of the originals. If you kind of look there, it's a Japanese copy of the originals. So when I got it, it comes with a nice little Japanese booklet here, which is kind of cool. It's in addition to the book that comes with the American version of the originals, so which is this right here, kind of on a little bit thicker paper than the American version. And then I actually haven't taken this out in a long time, so I don't even know if it's different on the inside. But it's in really nice shape. Well, it's not different. It's same as the American release.
Your gatefolds on that are bigger than the American version, so
yeah. The gatefolds on the Canadian version is the coolest ones because it has all those Kiss logos on the gatefold here. So then, of course, in here you got all the records and everything. So I picked this up by accident, and just because I wanted to complete the originals that I had. And when it's all said and done, I have the first pressing and the second pressing of the originals because I'm only really a U.S. albums collector. So I guess what this is going to dovetail into is, you guys can see what nice shape this is in. So if anybody out there listening, if you have an error copy of Alive 2, I will trade you this. Just to finish up on this one, this is in really nice shape. So if anyone wants to trade me a Japanese copies of the first originals, I'm looking for an error copy of Alive 2.
So I was going to ask you, U.S. versions. Do you have both of the second editions?
There's two. Mm-hmm. I only thought there was one second edition.
Label variations.
Oh, well, see, the only label variations I've gotten into right now are Bogart labels versus Camel labels.
Which is a nightmare.
Almost every album I have, those of Kiss, Hotter Than Hell, Dressed to Kill, Destroyer, I have both versions, the Camel version, and then I have the Bogart version. Then I have the 85 polygram reissues.
Now, I didn't know, and this is on, I think, the Vinyl Junkies Facebook group, was the second edition had, what was it, the first label, the camel layout for the text on a Filmworks label, and then the adjusted one. So a couple of different versions for collectors to get.
But the thing about those, and I know there are some collectors, I see your posts all the time about the Alive variations that you're collecting.
Yeah.
which is cool. But like the reason why I never got into that is because you had printing plants back then that kind of really weren't up to the standards of today's printing plants. So what some people might consider a variation is probably just could be a printer malfunction.
Is that the same thing like with the Paul Stanley solo album, where sometimes it looks like it came out blue instead of purple?
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
and then
total.
there's one where like it fades in the bottom. And there's another version where it's like a V shape on the bottom. I mean, things like that. They're cool, but I could never get into collecting because I would go crazy because I'd have to have every one. And where do you draw the line? What is an actual variation, and what is a printer malfunction? Where do you draw the line? So, by the way, just so people see this, cool Casablanca Records T-shirt. Got it on eBay. Not official, but officially cool.
Very cool. Yeah, and going to the label variations, that's what's done me in with the lot. I'm gonna throw all those up on eBay actually, except for a couple. It's just too insane, you know. Yeah, here's the Casbah label from Argentina. You know, the Bogart label. Oh, here's one that's off center. Oh, forget it. I'm done with that. So it's a waste of time. Alex, let's go back to you with the topic.
Well, I think I'm trying to think what else I had anything cool, fair-wise or bootleg-wise.
Or stuff that you want.
Stuff that I want. Well,
yeah, name a rarity that you want.
Well, you know, Andrew and Julian, if you guys want to put me in your will and stuff, then you're more than welcome to.
What world are you talking about?
Especially especially Tom Shannon too. I'll take if you want to put me on your will for your record collection. No, I think if there was any album I would love to have that I know they're really hard to find and a legit copy is the Chikara album.
Oh, Chikara, the Japanese,
the CD,
Japanese greatest hits.
I have that. Do you?
Yes, I do.
Boom, and then I think he said, isn't there an issue with bootlegs between the First Kiss Last Licks?
Yeah, the First Kiss Last Licks, and I'll show you how you can tell the variation. I'm just showing you. I don't have First Kiss Last Licks. That's something I want. But if you look on the inside of the First Kiss Last Licks LP, you'll see kind of like a black drag mark on the inside, and that's how you know if it's legit or if it's a bootleg.
So the black drags on the legit or on the bootleg?
Yeah, black drags are legit.
Okay. And the mailman just came by, which is why I ran away, delivering me. Woohoo!
So you bought one of Kurt's auctions.
Yeah. Could not resist on that, you know, out on the streets as good as it is. That really shows what it could have been. So, you know.
And just, I guess, a shout out to Kurt, because anybody that visits the FAQ board knows that Kurt is just dropping all kinds of cool stories and knowledge on all of us. So big shout out and big thumbs up to Kurt for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's had a lot of very cool auctions of late. I don't know what he may have lined up. I haven't seen that insane award of his go up. So
it went right to Mark Cicchini.
Yeah, well, hopefully there was some bidding going on in the background for that. You know, make Mark earn it.
And a big thank you to Kurt for taking the time to answer the questions that get posted on the message board. I'm enjoying going through, looking at the questions other board members asking him, taking the time to answer them. So thank you.
Yeah, that's totally cool, Kurt. It is appreciated. All right, I'm going to jump in with item Revenge. Okay, nothing spectacularly exciting about this. Look at the spine, if you can even see that here. Venganza.
Oh, I see.
So
it's something else for a moment.
Yeah, that is the Argentina issue of Revenge Cassette, and I don't think it applies to the CD or the LP version. It's a slightly different mix. So this is the one that has the extended version of Paralyzed on it, which has that. I think I joked about it in the last episode. The 45 seconds of mumbling versus 30 has a few. I think longer drum count-ins to other songs, and a different segue between, I think, Take It Off and No Bendito and whatever. I'm not going to try and speak Spanish. Between a couple of songs. So it's a cool. It turns up on eBay a fair amount. So if you want to hear the slightly different version of Revenge, that's one definitely worth having.
I think I have those mixes. Unfortunately, all of my bootlegs are pretty. They're in order and they're really really good in order. But for some reason, like my demos and my alternate mixes, it's a flipping mess. Like every time I go to try to organize it, I'm like, all right, I got so many other things to do right now. I can't be sitting here.
Yeah, I tried doing that with my boots, and all the stuff that was labeled NFT had to get adjusted in the last year, unfortunately. So my nice little color coding of what not to trade and trying to keep things sequential. My demos, I just gave up on. They just sit in boxes. On a lot of them still on cassettes. So
I feel like a bum because I spent a whole Saturday going through iTunes reorganizing stuff. And let me tell you, I was dead tired afterwards. I don't want to see my computer for a week.
You know, that's probably one of the few things that iTunes is actually good at, and it's organizing music libraries. But I don't go there. All right, Andrew, let's go back to you then.
All right, so I got this, and I only have two. This is like 2 of 4. So it's Killers. So we have the German version with the S's, and then we have the Japanese version with the Obi. But I also have these same 2 versions on CD. And I remember right around the KISS reunion tour, I think it was either 97, it might have been early 98. So this is pre, you can download whatever you want on the internet. And also pre-KISS box set too. So I heard about these 4 songs, and I wanted them. I wanted to hear them so bad. I couldn't go into, my local FYE or Record Town, wherever, and buy it. So I had to order it from Goldmine Magazine on CD. And I was like a kid in the candy store when that finally came. So for some reason, I have 2 copies on CD, 2 copies on vinyl. I know I'm missing, I think the Australian version is the one I don't have because it has those extra tracks on it. So maybe that's the next one I'll get. So I know I'm a big U.S. record guy, but these are the only 2 U.S. records I have that aren't U.S. issues. I think they're just kind of cool. I don't know, I kind of like this. I kind of like the Killers album. It was a magical album for me because after becoming a fan, everything was at your fingertips, especially at the reunion tour. You could buy whatever you wanted. So, but this eluded me for a little while. So when I finally got my copy on CD, which I don't have it accessible right now, but so I have 4 copies of basically the same album.
Yeah, I never understood that album. In the 1980s, when I became a fan, it was everywhere. Back of the cassette had a PSI sticker, Polygram Special Imports, or something like that. So it was everywhere for me. I've got the Japanese one. Do you have the sticker in there? The Japanese one should come with a sticker. It should come with a book, and there's a whole bunch of other premiums that would have been handed out at point of sale.
Let's see. So, I have the Obi. Obviously, I need to check for that. I have the lyric sheet and the record. I don't have anything else in there.
Ooh, you are incomplete.
So now I have to lose my mind and try to find all this stuff. Actually, I'm going to blame you, Julian, and this is why I'm incomplete, because before I buy anything, I go on this great website called KissMonster.com. So if it's not on there, I'm like, oh, I don't need it.
I think I really got to do a little bit more work on Monster. For everyone out there who is wondering what the hell Kiss Monster is, the KISSFAQ has become too known as just the message board, and I got fed up with that. And when Monster was coming out, I thought, oh, well, why don't I get Kiss Monster in case the band wants to use it, and maybe he'll trade me some demos. Of course, didn't work out that way. So Kiss Monster, I started moving over all of the information to Kiss Monster, and that's where the FAQ part of the FAQ will reside, leaving the message board to be its own monstrosity with its polluted name.
I got a throw on Kiss Killers. That's one of the first albums I heard all the way through. Again, my dad, being in the Navy, had picked that up when he was overseas, and so it was weird. It never occurred to me that it was something rare either, even though I was in the U.S. and stuff. And I remember it was Christmas of like '99, and that was in the stocking was the CD version then of Kiss Killers. And of course, it was a German issue. And of course, I love the lyrics in there because they're completely incorrect with like messed up words and stuff.
And here's another good one on Killers. Just if you're on Facebook, check out Kiss Collectors Vinyl Junkies Facebook group. great resource. There's a lot of people who are a lot more knowledgeable than me on the minutia involved in collecting vinyl. You'll get guys on there who can. You say, "I've got 6 copies of the French Alive," and they say, "Well, you don't have them all," and you're like, "Okay."
I think the guy who runs it is John Hockey or Hockley. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but he's actually one of the most knowledgeable guys about Kiss vinyl, and he's got a mint vinyl collection.
Yeah, and there's a ton of collectors who go on that. It does bug me that a lot of the posts are new bullshit bootleg releases, which I don't think really counts.
I agree with you.
But people do like them, buy them, collect them. But if you're looking for information, and it's so deep, the knowledge there, that I would never be able to document it on the FAQ in any way. But it's a great resource. Another great resource for probably what's going to be my next pick here is I lost it. I was actually on there. Sorry. Kiss Cassette. Junkies group.
Oh yeah.
So this is one of my loves, cassettes, because I started off, all my music was on cassettes.
Me too.
I did not have a record player worth a damn. So cassettes were my bag. So my next 2 items is actually one item. A couple of things. I actually posted these last week. I'm still trying to get rid of them because I don't want them. Blackjack. This is Bruce Kulick before Kiss. And what's cool about this Blackjack is it's a promo.
Is nothing?
No, it's a promo. If I was actually going to open this up, it opens up. It has a little booklet in there and the cassette housed in this big case. This other one's just boring-ass Columbia House. But Blackjack cassette. So I love cassettes. It's a great resource for, all your collecting, trading as well. Not run by me, but a lot of knowledgeable people. Andrew.
Okay, so this one, I purchased this on vinyl just recently, but I actually got this on cassette when I was like 6 years old. And at the time, I didn't even know that it was rare or anything like that, and I still have it. And unfortunately, I'm moving right now, so all like my cool cassettes I don't have available. But anyway, it's the Non-Makeup Creatures. So I have this on vinyl. I also have it on cassette. And as a kid, that's all I had. I didn't know that there were 2 versions, that there were 2 mixes. And I thought this guy right here was Ace Frehley. I thought that guy there was Peter Criss. I didn't know.
Nah, why would you?
Didn't know. And to kind of add more confusion to that, I saw the I Love It Loud video. And it was obviously a rerun because I think it was 1990 when I saw the I Love It Loud video. I thought it was new at the time. I was 5. What did I know? And then my father brought me home this on cassette. So I thought they took the make. I didn't understand. I couldn't understand it. But anyway, I don't. This is another thing I'm looking for. I don't have this on CD because I know the mix was changed. I've never heard it because I can't. Well, I don't have a record player. Oops. I don't have a cassette player. Oops again. So I'm looking for this on CD. I know
I have one.
Oh, you should sell it to me. I'm not going to do anything rare, but you should sell it to me.
We'll talk after.
What's cool is I've got the CD on that, and it actually came with 2 inserts. So, woohoo!
Did it really?
Yeah.
I only came with one, so you better talk to Julian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the cool thing about this is I've always just wanted to hear it, and as a kid, I didn't really know that there was a difference. So this is an oddity for me. I have it on every format except the one I could listen to.
Yeah, and the differences on that are pretty minute. To be honest, maybe it's my hearing's not that great, or my attention to musical detail isn't that great. I've never really been able to tell the difference, but apparently there's a little bit more echo on the drums on one version, and no doubt someone will correct me on that. Get the details that are actually accurate. I still need that on LP. I keep getting outbid.
I can only notice the difference on Creatures of the Night. Was the only one I noticed the difference with the drumming. That was about it.
Yeah, that is, I believe, what the main one is.
The kind of crappy thing about that, and I lucked out when I purchased the vinyl on eBay, but you'll see a lot of people that they'll have the CD and they'll have the wrong picture on there. That's why I don't want to buy it off of eBay, because I don't want to buy one and then have them send me the 97 remasters, because they were like me. They didn't know any better. If you're not a Kiss fan, you're not really going to know. I mean, granted, there are going to be some people on there that are going to have the legitimate CD release, but I haven't pulled the trigger on eBay because I don't want to purchase the wrong one.
Yeah. Creatures is a fun album to collect.
What I want to know is whose butt was that on the backside of that
I think
album?
it's Gene's. Yeah, pretty sure that's Gene Simmons.
I'm not going to stare long and hard at that butt to figure it out.
Yeah, me neither. I just was kind of like, oh, it's an ass.
I think I asked that on the FAQ, and someone did post, and I don't remember what the answer was. I think they said that it was actually a model.
Oh, model.
Which is a little bit more reassuring, but, hey, whatever floats people's boats.
I mean, compared to the back of Crazy Nights with Paul, I'll take that back cover.
Oh, come on. I hate that.
All right, so next up is going to be, boom. I can't see how much of that you can see.
Nice.
This is the 12-inch maxi single, German, for Dirty Livin' 2000 Man. And the only thing that makes this interesting is that it's the 6-minute version of Dirty Living with the same, I think it's Jim Burgess mix. He also did the 7-minute and 54-second version of I Love It Loud, disco style. So
I Was Made for Loving You.
Yeah, so
You said I Love It Loud.
I was like, there's a disco version.
Did I do that again? I keep doing that again. I Was Made for Loving You, the 7-minute version. So I think he did some other remixes later as well. But, whatever. It's another missed opportunity for Universal, kind of. When they did the singles box set, maybe as a little promo, they could have put in a CD version of that, so we finally have a digital source. Because I keep trying to find these in pristine condition to get a good rip, and I never succeed. And one day I'll get my...
I have a pretty decent one. I don't know. I think, did it come from Chikara? You know what?
Chikara has the perfect digital rip of I Was Made for Loving You, but
I don't know
we don't have one for Dirty Livin'.
Came from.
Yeah,
I don't know. I know it's good. I know it's really good. I'll have to send it to you because it's good.
I think there was a bootleg in the 90s, Feel Like Heaven, or was it Music from the Wasteland, that did have a really good copy. So I don't know what their source was. Alex.
All right, I'm just going through my iTunes
What do you want?
What do you want? What do you want?
I think I mentioned before, but and you had it early in the beginning of the show, but I guess if there's any vinyl, even just a collection, I want Kiss to make the box set like the Beatles did for their albums.
So have you bought any of the Kiss 40 vinyl?
I did not know. I actually saw one. I was flipping through one. I thought like that'd be kind of cool, but then I don't have a vinyl player right now, so it would have just been something to sit on the shelf. And I'm kind of like you, Andrew. I do like to hear what I have. And I know they had a CD version of it, but I just thought even like that seemed kind of silly to buy like 20 different CDs for 20 songs instead of just a one set. But I know there's a website.
That singles box set's really cool, even though it's a lot of CDs for not a lot of songs. It's still pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely I've considered getting it. The budget works out, maybe I'll put in for it and stuff. I know they've got a few different mixes of stuff, but I feel like because I've got the tracks off other albums, I don't need them.
Yeah, but one thing they did do well, and someone emailed me before it came out and said, listen to the mixes. They used the right tapes. They pulled the right masters for those singles.
Super cool.
You get the horrible butchered edit of Detroit Rock City, but you also get the hard times with the added code at the end of it. The great version of Strutter 78.
That's my favorite version of Strutter 78.
It's fantastic. The echoey drum intro to that is I love it.
Even Sure Know Something is really good and punchy on that collection.
Yeah, it sounded fantastic, and while we could debate the sleeves used until everyone's blue in the face and the audience passes out, I think they did a good job overall.
So do I.
So, they got that product right. Maybe there's an error or two in the booklet, so what? They got the music right. So, PopPsych, is that the site often sells stuff at a big discount?
Yeah.
So that's where I got mine, and I think I got it for $150 for the vinyl version, which was a good deal.
Cool. That's a good price.
Yeah, it was a great deal. So let's go on to another one of your items, Andrew.
Okay, so this is kind of what started my whole descent into Kiss fandom. I guess back in the 70s, my parents were one of the first people to actually have a Betamax machine that you could record. So they actually recorded the airing of Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Oh, wow.
So I had that for a while. But for some reason, I lost it or didn't have it, so it was unfortunate. So I was in Kmart one day, and I must have been 4 years old, because it was before I had the Creatures of the Night cassette. So I got Kiss Meets the Phantom on VHS cassette, and I was really kind, and I rewound. So there you go. It's nice and rewound. So in the old video store series, it's please be kind and rewind. So showing my age a little bit there. But anyway, so I mean, I have this on Laserdisc, and then I have a really nice Laserdisc transfer on DVD. Then of course I have Attack of the Phantoms on Kissology Volume 2. But I can't get rid of this, even though the box has seen better days and it looks like someone ate it. This is really sentimental to me. For some reason, the two VHS tapes I'll never get rid of. It's this, and it's my first copy of Madison Square Garden, 1977. So I can't even tell you how many times I watched this, and it's just it's really, really sentimental to me. So is it an oddity? I think so, because there's so many versions of this. There's a clamshell version, and this one even says this one is a superior quality, taped in LP mode. So back, in the VHS days. So
it's got if it's superior quality, it's got a different movie on it, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's actually, when you put it in, it's Sgt. Pepper.
Thank God.
It's not Kiss Meets the Phantom.
Okay.
So, but I just bought this right from my local Kmart in New Jersey. So this is one of my favorite things. I'll never get rid of it.
Alex.
I guess as we kind of were able to mention movies, right? The tongue twister there of VHSs. I got it. There was a guy who used to run a really cool site back in the day called frankkiss.com.
Frank Caraglio or Caraglio.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on him. Don't get me started on him.
I won't. But I guess Andrew doesn't have any. But what a super nice thing. What happened is I had ordered the package, and I had the tracking number and everything, and it said it got delivered at my doorstep. When I was 13, and I was there the whole day. It never came. It never came at all. And what a super nice guy, because he went and he packaged up another box for me, and we sent it. And in the box was a VHS tape, and it wasn't nothing original or anything. But it was a copy of that, was it Night Flight 1983 with the Creatures lineup?
Yeah.
And it was the complete unedited, too. So it had, the 10 minutes beforehand of them just kind of sitting there and, the producer going, okay, now you guys lean in together. Look like you guys are getting along here. And then it had the outtakes afterwards of them going hi, we're Kiss, and you're watching Night Flight on USA Network. And so...
Who was the interviewer's name on Night Flight? Quick trivia. Who's the interviewer's name?
I can't think of the guy's name. They didn't even
Julian?
show him.
No idea.
Al Bandero. That's his name. I only know because he says it. So that's how I know.
Clearly, you watched it more than I did. I paid attention more than I did. But that was super cool. And then the other thing, and another video that was in there too was Largo 79. And being from Maryland, having been to the Capitol Center for various events and stuff before it got torn down, it was just super cool to have a Kiss concert video from that venue. Plus, it was the first one I had with them in makeup.
And that tour, for that matter. I mean, because heck, that was pretty much it that circulated for a long time. Yeah, Frank, I actually bought stuff from him when I was living in Scotland. Never did after moving back to the States in whatever year it was. Okay. So, next up for me is CD. Ooh, The Elder. And of course, anyone who remembers Novelder, the insanely in-depth look at this album, knows that
it's kind of like No Shave November. So it is Novelder. It's like No Shave November.
So, what's interesting about this CD is not necessarily that it's The Elder. And I feel like, who was it? Nigel. This one goes up to 11. This one is the P33C Japan issue, which is the original CD release series of the whole Kiss catalog. And what makes those so cool is that they're different than the original American CD versions, that they are much better quality sonically than any of the American versions were up until Kiss 40. So the digital versions that we got this year, or last year, pardon me, are basically, to my ears, and when I compare the waves, the same as this, just slightly louder. and not too loud because KISS 40 digital releases are absolutely perfect. So these were the highest quality mixes of the catalog. And these CDs sell for insane amounts. I mean, someone's got one up on eBay right now for the 85 Creatures release for like $270. And I'm like,
no, thank you.
Yeah, he's smoking something. But if you wanted the best sounding, that was the way to go, in my opinion, and also a lot of other people's ears until the latest one. So that's a cool series. You're going to pay a pretty penny to get all those. Andrew.
Okay, so this is the last thing that I kind of brought out. And it's not in the best shape, unfortunately. But again, really sentimental. I was at, it must have been a flea market, back in my New Jersey days, and someone found the best of the solo albums. So, as you can see, it's not the best shape, but, it's got the sticker, and just someone said, hey, that's not the KISS logo, let's get this for him. So, they got this, and so I still have it. I can't, for some reason, when someone buys me something KISS that I don't have, I can't get rid of it, because I'm like, oh, they weren't a prick, and they thought of me, and they bought something cool, so I gotta keep it. So, it's, if I ever find a better version of this, I might upgrade, but I don't really collect foreign country vinyl. But, so that's this.
And that's another one that in the 80s I saw a lot of with PSI stickers on the back, and that is the 1980 Dutch issue with the, no, not the Dutch, that's the 1980 German one. I think it's got
the Dutch issue comes with free clogs, and this one didn't come with free clogs.
And
that's big.
And how funny that you had that, because one of mine was going to be...
There you go. That's cool.
The Australian version. And obviously, most of these have different track listings, and there's a bunch of them that are out there.
Hey,
mine is so good, they cut Peter Criss's songs off the vinyl.
There. Look, that says PSI. Look at that.
Yep, so that's an import.
Yeah. Well, see, it's the whole album's a lie because they say the best of the solo albums. If it was really the best, there would be no Peter Criss songs.
Well, their grammar isn't that good as well, because doesn't it say the solo album? Therefore, they should have only had Ace's music on it.
That's very true. Actually, I'm torn between Ace and Paul. Those are the best ones.
They're fantastic. I even like Peter's, So, the Australian one, this one is a Astor copy, and they were released on Astor and reissued on Polygram. This one, obviously, as I showed you, is broken. So anyone who sells records, if you stick a fucking record in a bubble mailer and mail it to someone from Australia, it's going to get broken. You're freaking stupid if you do that. The one that I have I think I've actually done it on my Hysteria box set feature, is France, just because it's got the 1976
I love that.
Pictures on it.
And I guess to kind of talk about that a little bit too, if you buy the Japanese You Wanted the Best CD, it comes with stickers from that, that same photo session.
Yep. And that same photo session is the I Was Made for Loving You German picture sleeve, I believe.
We're nerds. Yeah. That's it. You know what's funny? 3 sides, podcast, this one, never been a girl on there. There's a reason for that. That's what the next one, we have to get a girl on here. We have to. That has to be the goal.
Ladies, we would love to have you on the show. We'll let
just once.
Yeah, we will let you pick the topic, so that we don't stray into realms unacceptable. It'd be great to get the other species' perspective on the band. So would be cool. So anyone out there who's female who wants to come on the show, drop us a line. All right, so next, and I'm going to flash these up quickly because these are really like, you're a loser. Let's see.
What are those?
All right, the first one is Star Boulevard, which
come on,
is 2012 compilation issued to certain stores in Germany. So
it's like I don't have the songs in this order.
So it's got 31 songs. The other one was the Best of KISS from Canada. So every song
A.
Every song ends in A.
Detroit City, eh?
And my favorite is the Best of KISS, which is your compilation has been compiled down to 7 songs.
I you got to tell me, what are the 7 songs the best of Kiss? I have to know.
Shout It Out Loud, I Was Made for Loving You, Lick It Up,
Okay.
Strutter,
Okay.
Hotter Than
Okay.
Hell, Detroit,
No.
Rock and Roll All Night.
No
What
Love
about
Gun?
Beth? What about Beth?
No Love Gun, no Beth, no Calling Dr. Love, no Read My
Nice.
Body. It's a fail.
So since we're getting out of the tail end, this is not vinyl, but it's related. It's my solo album, Promo Arrow.
Oh, store display.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. I kind of just like hang it on my wall like this. Like I said, I'm moving, so like all my cool stuff is like put away or getting ready to move. So this is kind of cool. I mean, it's not in the best shape. I would rate it probably an 8 out of 10. But it's cool. I love stuff like this. I love record store items, and I have the bag for this too. So if anybody remembers, Kiss Online had a bunch of them in like the early 2000s. I bought a bunch. I love that bag. Can't fit anything in it, but I love the bag.
Yeah, and there's also a really good site out there that covers a lot of the promotional type material, everythingkiss.com. You can go in there, and they've got collections. They've got so much, really neat stuff that I don't bother trying to detail. I think I had a originals display, which was the originals album cover that was glued together and stamped with a stand-up that I threw up on auction and got rid of because, check the records when you're going through the bins because sometimes they will be these weird things. I mean, I think I bought it for $10 because it didn't have any LPs in it and they didn't realize that it was a stand-up display. But go to Everything Kiss, another great site to spend a few hours on.
It was funny. They were posting the other day about the first show on the Hot in the Shade tour. They were like, "Oh, it started in Galveston, Texas," and I was like, "No, it's actually Lubbock.
Yeah,
it's actually Lubbock, Texas." But it's just showing like why I'm a nerd because it's like, oh well, I heard it started in Galveston. I was like, no, Galveston was a radio station show on a beach. They played 8 songs, and here's the show right here, and blah 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 blah. I'm a nerd, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah, that was the throwing cans show, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was that show.
Yeah,
that was that show. Where
beach.
I think they did 6 songs and came back for 2 more, and then after that they were done.
Yeah, that was way early. So,
So what's a rarity that you want?
That I want.
Yeah, what's the rarity that you want? Because I know I have some in my mind that I want, but what are the ones that you want?
Oh, vinyl wise, I want. Well, shit, put me on the spot. I want a 1967 Connecticut high school hootenanny album, which might have Vinnie Vincent on it.
What? I mean...
1967. It's been up on eBay once.
Well, I mean, is that pre or post him murdering dogs and putting them in Tupperware bins? Because I only want pre-Tupperware bins.
Oh, it's it's pre-Little Anthony for Vinny. So 1967, it might have him performing in his talent show. And someone did grab it. I missed it. eBay screwed me. But that's my one want right now.
I guess I'll show one oddity. I did find a picture. Nothing too crazy. There was this album. It came out in '97, and I didn't get too much later, called Carnival of Souls. Ended up being a German issue. When I got the chance to meet Bruce Kulick, he was pretty stoked that I had like a German issue, and so he was kind enough to sign it for me and stuff, which made my day. If anybody's going on a Kiss cruise and wants to take it to get Paul, Eric, and Gene signature, I'd be more than happy to talk to you. But it was super.
Well, hey, I mean, Eric is going to be at the Indie Expo.
I won't be at the Indie Expo.
Why not?
I'm in school. Can't afford to fly out to Indy, but I've always thought the German issues are super cool, and in fact, I give a little shout out to Julian. One of the cool sections he had on the KISSFAQ discography was the German section, where it had all the different various edits to the German album covers, and even some of them I was kind of amazed with the Photoshop, especially the Kiss Alive, how they were able to Photoshop the Kiss logo on there and stuff. So I've always thought the German issues were super cool. So.
Yeah, and the Kiss FAQ doesn't do a great job of the regional discographies. That's something we'll probably have to wait until I'm retired. Kissnews.de.
Yeah. Great site.
They've got a lot more of the German. Obviously, they're German. So their message board, great place for collectors. but I think they've got a bit more of a discography for the German market than I can be bothered to put together. When it comes to German discography, all I care about are the first 3 issues, and those are the Gothic LPs. So here's a question: how many copies of Carnival of Souls on LP do you think Eric Singer is going to have to sign this weekend?
Oh man,
yeah,
probably a lot.
I would love to say a lot, but no one. I feel like the super hardcore diehard Kiss fans from the '70s, they think Carnival of Souls is an abomination to the Kiss discography. So I don't know who's going to have them.
Maybe he should put a sign up if he's doing any signing saying, "I am only signing copies of Monster, Sonic Boom, Carnival of Souls, and Revenge."
And Alive 3.
Alive 3 and MTV Unplugged. And I am not signing any more copies of Alive now that I've got Carnival of Souls to sign. And if you didn't bring a copy, then right here for $59.95.
Yeah, but you know what? I've seen him sign Rock and Roll Over, and he's always like, "Hey, are you sure you want me to sign this?"
Yeah, everything I've ever heard.
Yeah, sign it. Even fans come to Mr. Speed shows and they bring Kiss albums for me to sign. I flat out refuse to sign Kiss stuff. I won't sign it. But sometimes a fan will be like, "Oh, you gotta sign it," and then I'll sign it. Forgive me, because I'm defacing this album or defacing Kiss stuff. But usually I refuse to sign Kiss stuff. I think it's so.
Not to throw it out, throw them in the show. It happens to be the second time, but when I went to go and do stuff to meet the Village People, the original the original biker was on all the albums.
Hold on a second, Alex, because now that you said the Village People, every time you said in the Navy today, I've had the Village People pop into my head. So I would just like to thank you for bringing us full circle with that.
Dude, the first episode I was on, you were talking about the Village People. You were like, they don't care if it's the original guys, it's still the Village People. And I just couldn't get over that. I just thought it was the funniest thing.
Well, I was going to throw it. I ended up they did an album called Renaissance.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
They wore makeup on instead, but it was the only album out of the lineup at the time to have 5 out of the 6 people, so it made sense to get that one signed. And I'll give the biker, but he took the album to sign it, he didn't sign it at all, because he wasn't on it and stuff. But knowing that the original one wasn't there, I asked him to sign it and stuff. But, at least, I know Tommy and Eric, they always, like you say, they always ask, are you sure you want me to sign this? Because, I'm not on it. And so, but, I give them credit for doing that. So,
Eric and Tommy are really gracious guys, and they respect the band's history. They were fans. That's what anyone who criticizes those guys got to remember. They were fans, first and foremost, before they were musicians. They were fans. So everything I've ever heard about them being asked to sign originals, albums, I mean, number one, I go, what the fuck? Why would you even ask these guys to sign that shit? Bring Eric a copy of Badlands, for God's sake. Please.
Oh, yeah.
It's number one, it's a great album. Number two, it's a great performance by him. Number 3, don't ask him to sign the Peter Criss solo album, or Rock and Roll Over.
Well, I mean, shit, you can find Monster for $20 sealed vinyl. Go pick one of those up, and if you're paying $1,000 to meet Kiss,
you can get Monster. You can get Monster on LP for less than $10. I picked up a copy a couple months ago. I mean, they're in the bins everywhere. Get him to sign that. And number 2, bring yourself a nice Sharpie. You want to get a nice gold signature or whatever color, depending on what you're having them sign. Bring your own. Make sure you've tested it as well. Don't be cheap. You want to get a good signature, tell them where you'd like to sign it, and they'll most often be obliging, even under the rush. They're under.
Here's something else cool that just it's just right next to me. I don't know how many people have seen this, but this is nice. Pristine condition. One of 2 of the Eric Carr 1990 Ludwig posters.
No, God bless him.
This is always hanging close because I'm a huge Eric Carr fan, and I always thought these were really cool. But anyway, so you're just to get back on track. Your want. What was that again? I forget. We got sidetracked.
1967.
Oh, yeah, that the Vinny thing.
Yeah, Bridgeport Central High Hootenanny. LP. So I don't even know what's on there. When it was up on eBay last time, there weren't enough details really about it. But obviously he was at that school at the time, as was another guy who people in the session world will recognize, Neil Steubenhaus. And he played with Heat. He played with, I mean, he's a big jazz guy, and he played with Vinny in the 70s. I think he may even have been in Hunter for a while with Vinny, but that side of the things I haven't really dug into enough. So that's my one. Kiss wise, what do I want? I don't know. These days, there's not much that I can immediately go out and provision if I really got to have it. Maybe
there's two things that come to mind for me, and I'm currently looking for one. Well, there's one on eBay right now, but the guy's kind of a D-bag. And anyway, I want Kiss NB9001 with Kissin' Time. It's the only version of the album I'm missing.
Which one with Kissin' Time? With it on the vinyl and not on the label?
It's on the vinyl, on the label, not on the sleeve. Sticker on the sleeve that says it includes Kissin' Time.
No, it's a shame. I could probably have helped you out, but I've got it on the vinyl and not on the label with the sticker.
That's what I said.
No, you said on the vinyl and on the label.
No. On the vinyl, not on the
MB9001. Hell. I hate that release.
Me now.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me check KissMonster.com. Be right back.
How about speed dial Tom Shannon? Tom.
Well, there's one on eBay right now, and at first the guy wanted $75, but it looks like his dog ate it before he put it on. And the only reason why I looked at it was because it was the one I was missing. So I tried to. He had it on eBay for like 2 months, and I kept on making him an offer, $45, $45. He kept on declining it and wanting more. So now it's out there for $50. And for principal purposes, I'm like, dude, you were a dick for like 2 months, and now you're going to sell it for $50? I'm like, I don't want it because I'm in that good of a shape. But it's the only one I'm missing.
Yeah, that's a real challenge because I got mine off Discogs, and I had actually wanted a one without Kissin' Time, and I can't even remember what I paid for it. It showed up, and I started counting the tracks, and I threw it on the deck to make sure I wasn't drunk. And it had Kissin' Time on it, and I was pissed. And the downside to the original Warner issue is how tough it is to get a cover that doesn't look like Sasquatch, humped it. I mean, it's really impossible to get in good condition. So, very, very tough album.
All right, so check it out. I'm going to take it out of the sleeve, too. It's in pretty nice shape.
Oh, that's nice.
So, and then you look at the back. It's pretty nice.
Yep, you can see the seams.
You can see the seams, and then you got it. So check it out. NB, it's 901. There's no Kissin' Time on this bad boy.
Well, now I got to go get mine.
Well, you have to get yours because you're going to sell me your one that with the sticker on it that I need. And don't tell them. There's just like a minor little split right over
there. All right, so here.
Oh, look at that.
There. Actually, wrong side.
Oh.
That's
the one you're going to give me, right?
There's the sticker. And mine even has... Oh, actually, those are my notes. So, let's see. My cover actually is not that bad on this, so a couple of little...
Yeah, I mean, but you can't really help that, because mine, there's a little split down here, and I just haven't got out the glue to glue it back together.
Yeah,
I must say, I wish with the Gisteria box that they would have thrown on a version of the first album without Kissin' Time, even if it had just been an exclusive.
Oh, so I tell a fib. I must have sold the other one. This has Kissin' Time on the label, but not on the vinyl.
But not on the vinyl?
Correct.
So, let me see side 2. So it's not on there.
On side 2, I don't know how well this is going to show up. 1 track, 2 track, 3 track, 4 track.
Oh, damn.
Sorry, you're out of luck.
Well, you know what? I had one, and, John Hockley, if I'm mispronouncing his name again, sorry, he wanted $100 for it. And total fair price. I was just in the middle of, wheeling and dealing some things, so I didn't really want to drop $100 on it. He sold it, and, more power to him, because it was nice. It would look just like yours. So
yeah.
Kissin' Time is not on it.
So that one is actually... I got rid of the other one that was in crap condition. This one is Actually, pretty decent. And while we were talking, I did think of the other item that I am looking for that I want desperately. And I know if anyone has it, they're going to want a lot of money if they're even willing to sell it. I'm not going to say the Hotter Than Hell, Let Me Go Rock and Roll production 7-inch single, because I just don't see being able to afford that, and that's going to be $1,000 plus minimum. But I do want, and I had this in my collection in 1997. It was the UK 7-inch Destroyer promo sampler, basically the Summer Tour album in 7-inch format. It's white label, and it's PRS 398, I think, is the release code on that, EMI, and it's the same 4 songs. So I want that back in my collection because I want to put it in a frame on my wall. Bought it for 70 quid in 97, and I sold it for some stupid reason because I do that. So if that's a Kiss item, that's the one I want. Alex, you've been quiet.
I'm just you guys are like more in depth on this. I'm just getting tired of hearing about this stuff. Going, dang it! I need to get a good job to face me. Lost the money.
Yeah, I was more concerned that I was just able to rattle off a Matrix number for a 7-inch promo. That was a little bit scary.
It's just like me with the catalog numbers.
I'll throw it out there because you mentioned girls and stuff. There's a girl in my class, my political science class, really pretty girl, really pretty. I'm going to watch a movie tomorrow night with her at a place. And but she was asking me about the music stuff I do, because I think it's cool. Just like you guys probably think what you do is cool, but the women think it's cool and stuff. So she asked me, and I definitely opened up on the nerdy side of the Kiss fandom and stuff. And she thought I was the coolest guy ever after that point. So there's hope for us. There is hope for us.
And you know what it's about is it's real fun because there are people who have been collecting Kiss shit going on 40 years now. Obviously, I'm newer to the party, being a fan in '85, and Andrew later. Yeah, so I mean, there's the whole gamut of collecting. Everyone has something maybe that they're interested in. I'm not talking Hello Kitty Spencer's crap, because that has never floated.
Spencer's crap.
That has never floated my boat, but it floats other people's boats. So power to them. I don't care. I collect, I sell. I collect, I sell. I've been on this Alive thing for the last 6 months and built up, I think, 75 different copies. And all of a sudden I got to a point where I'm saying, well, it's not interesting me anymore, so I'm going to flog them. They're going to go up on eBay, the Great Alive auction. And I'll move on to something else. I mean, I'm into advance and promo cassettes. I change. So I like having a lot of this stuff in my hands. I don't need to keep it, and I certainly don't need to be buried with it. I don't want any of that crap with me when I'm gone. So
I actually bought an Alive 2 from you, a polygram Alive 2 from you.
Oh, yeah, you got the one with the UPC label?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I got that one.
And you were satisfied with your service? Did you leave me? Did you leave me 5 stars?
I was not set. I only gave you 3 stars because
shit.
I can't remember why, but maybe the sun wasn't shining that day. But you know what? When I finally move, the next one that I do, I will wear my "That's Nice Now Play Love Gun" KISSFAQ T-shirt, because I got one of those too.
You do? I don't think I have any of those left. When I went to Vegas, I was leaving T-shirts on seats. I was trying to get people to wear them, and I'm like, I'm not in the mood to do this. So I was like chucking these things all over the place. Got rid of the last of the FAQ T-shirts. Won't do that again. I think we sold like 10 of the freaking things. So
I think I love it. I think they were really, really cool, and I think I wore it to shows sometimes. I think I wore it to a Kiss show once. I can't remember, but I know I wore it at one place, and some guy was like, "Oh, I'm such and such from the FAQ." I'm like, okay, I gotta take this shirt off now."
Well, now that the podcast for the Kiss FAQ is in, now I kind of want a shirt. If I go to a Kiss thing, people go like, "Hey, I've seen you before. I can't understand you, but I like you."
No, that's when you get a T-shirt custom printed that says, "I'm not Alex," or "I'm not Julian," or a little arrow, "He's Julian." So no escape now that people seen this. All right, let's wrap this up. So this was the vinyl oddities. We've just gone through some stuff in our collections and stuff that isn't in our collections that we like.
Actually, we talked about vinyl, but we are the oddities.
Yeah, the oddities.
We are.
Yep, we are the oddities. We care about this stuff. So we gave you some resources out on Facebook, out on the web. like-minded people congregate in the same places. So there's a lot of cool stuff out there. Don't just check eBay. Plug some of these matrix codes into Google and see where it takes you. Discogs is a great place to get good deals, as is trading on these Facebook groups. There's a lot of good guys out there, and they've got reputations. So you're into collecting, doesn't matter what you are into, it's out there. Last thoughts, guys?
Last thoughts, if anybody has an NB9001 with Kissin' Time sticker on the front, no Kissin' Time on the back, Kissin' Time on the vinyl, I want so bad.
Of course, there is no 9001 with Kissing Time on the back, is there?
I don't believe so, because I believe the reason why the sticker was put on there was because 9001 without Kissin' Time sold so poorly that they probably just melted down the extra vinyl and then used the sleeves that were printed without Kissin' Time.
I'm also curious, does anyone have a test pressing or acetate of that?
I know just 2 white label vinyls went in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
of the first album.
The white labels I'm not interested in. Those are the original ones. But are there any test pressings of the one with Kissin' Time? Has anyone ever found one? I know when they went to the reels for the Kiss 40, one of the guys who was working on the audio, I think he posted up on Facebook or on Twitter a picture of the box which showed it was a remaster of side 2 of some description. So very minute difference in the audio on the version that has Kissin' Time from the original version. So is there a test pressing with Kissin' Time? We'd love to see a picture.
That's your homework. We're going to be like 3 sides. That's your homework. Whoever's listening. Find out. Go Minions!
Go Minions. Find us a test pressing of NB9001 with Kissin' Time. All right, that's a wrap. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Alex, it's always a pleasure. Andrew, we need to see more of you, even though you're going to be busy.